Hello and welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. And yeah, welcome to what we learned from West Ham United 2, Manchester United 1. Make sure to like the video and subscribe if you're new. Social media is in the description if you want to follow me. At GVO Mikes on all platforms. Trying to hit 1K before the end of the year. Or just as soon as possible. I keep saying the end of the year because I'm just used to saying that. But at this current moment in time, I'm literally recording this as it's been reported by Laurie Whitwell that Ten Hag has been sacked by Manchester United. So it turns out it was El Sakiko. And this is 10 minutes away from me reacting to the Man United fans' fan cams, which you're getting 3 uploads today. You're getting me reacting to Saeed and the United Views fan cams. You're getting the clip from the player ratings from the live stream in case you missed the live stream. And also you're getting this, what we learned from West Ham 2, Manchester United 1. But also join me at 8 p.m. with Alfie to discuss everything to do with the Premier League weekend, including Ten Hag being sacked, along with whether Arsenal are out of the title race or not. But yeah, let's get straight into this, people. Now, as I mentioned with the Ipswich game, which I don't think I even did a video for what we learned from the Ipswich game, because it was the end of the international break, so I just thought I'd put it all together with what we learned throughout our 4 games. But kind of similar to the Ipswich game but in fact, probably a worse version of the Ipswich game where we won. Good second half performance, but it doesn't give me any more confidence or any less confidence. Like, when I say what we learned from the game, I didn't learn much that I didn't already know. And what I mean by that is I know who's good enough at this club. I know who isn't good enough at this club. The first thing I learned is that this manager's dumb. But then again, that's nothing new. This manager's stupid. This manager has similar team selections to David Moyes. That's my first point. Now, we discussed the lineup. Carlos Soler on the left, Lucas Paquetá in the middle, with them two together. What was the point of having them two together when you're playing Soler on the left? I know Soler can play left wing, same way Paquetá can play left wing, but they're not left wingers. Whether you want to keep the ball, whether it's on the counter, I don't care. You don't play these people on the wing. Naturally, Soler is going to be on the inside, trying to receive the ball in midfield. And the problem is Rodriguez and Alvarez. Alvarez can progress the ball, but he's lost his bravery for whatever reason. So the lack of progression with the ball is alarming, to say the least. Especially if you're trying to play with possession. If I don't know if we're actually trying to do that or not, because sometimes it does look like that, sometimes it doesn't. And the problem is everyone's together. So what I mean by that, all the 4 midfielders are right next to each other. So no one's spreading out. No one is spreading the play. No one's making space for each other. That's the problem. That's the problem. So there's that. There's that. But that's why Somerville gives you a different outlet. Because guess what, guys? When you play people in the right position, what happens? You actually play better. That's why Somerville, when he came on, we can actually play down the left-hand side now. It's a shock. Emerson and Somerville down the left-hand side is good, because guess what? That's both of their positions. Why he didn't start Somerville, I have no idea. Why did he start Soler over Somerville on the left-hand side? Because he doesn't know what he's doing. Now, yes, I never want this team to lose. I'll never ever say that we need to lose this game because the manager gets sacked. I did have that attitude under Pellegrini, funny enough. But with this manager, I'm just like, I want him to go, but I'm not going to wish for my team to lose. I can't be asked for this, especially when you're on YouTube, but I can't be asked to be talking about my team losing constantly. But Ten Hag has been sacked now, so I'm just thinking I'm not saying because our boards are different, but it would have been way more pressure if Man United had won on the manager, because even a draw probably would have kept everyone's job. But if Man United are 14th in the league table, that they have every right to sack their manager, like they should have sacked him a long time ago. With us, people are like, oh, it's West Ham, so the perception is different. So the board will take that into consideration, unfortunately. Now, what the second thing I'll say that we've learned is that this kind of just prolongs the inevitable. This delays the inevitable. That's the phrase I've been using for the past week. The reason why I say that is because we know that this manager isn't going to turn it around and go on a run of games of winning. We've got Nottingham Forest next week. We've got Everton the week after. We might not lose to Everton, but Nottingham Forest will definitely lose, and you can write that off. And we shouldn't be writing that off as a club. As a team, we should be writing it off. But the way we approach away games is genuinely awful and generally don't know what we're looking at. The problem is we'll probably like at best we'll draw that game and people will be like, we'll take the draw because it's a hard place to go. We haven't won there before. That's the part because people will take that into a positives, even though we've won 3 games in 9, which is still terrible, by the way. Still terrible. We've literally given ourselves such a hill to climb on by losing all these games right at the start and drawing all these games right at the start of the season. Because all it does now, it puts more pressure on you to just win most of your games in the future. Puts more pressure on you to win the next game. And usually when that happens with us, that doesn't work ever. It doesn't work ever. Not gonna lie. So there's also that. What I've learned also is Aaron Wan-Bissaka is sensational, and I've already said how wrong I was. I made the video into the international break on how immense the guy is, but the guy has so much composure. And I think it's because of the lack of pressure that is at West Ham compared to the pressure that is at Man United. He's been used to the pressure at Man United, so this is probably a new lease of life and so refreshing for him because he's like, I've handled Man United pressure. I can pretty much handle most pressures at most clubs. Maybe barring Real Madrid is probably one of the biggest pressures at any club you can play for. So when you play for West Ham now, there is pressure, but it isn't the same pressure. It isn't as intense. So he is finding all the composure and it's translating onto his work on the pitch for him to just find passes where I don't know how he still got the ball. He went past like 2 Man United players at one point in the second half on the right-hand side. And he still keeps his composure no matter what. Playing through the lines and stuff and playing through the press. If only this guy was hugging the touchline a bit more due to the manager's instructions, we might even see an even better Aaron Wan-Bissaka because this inverted nonsense does not work with fullbacks that are not used to playing inverted. What's the point of Emerson making runs on the inside of Soles on the left wing where he's a midfielder? So you've got your midfielder on the left. This is the problem I had last season where the whole Paquetá on the left thing, because sometimes Paquetá's on the touchline and Emerson's running on the inside. So this manager's still tactically inept. We know this already. There was a situation that, cool, it's a minor situation, but it kind of proves the lack of the translation from the instructions to the players is not working. And what I mean by this, I'll get into it. Now, I don't know whether anybody noticed this in the first half, but I noticed this because I was at the ground. So anyone that watched the game and was fully concentrated on the game, you'll notice this as well. One of the times when they took their goal kick, now we talked about the pressing structure against Ipswich, the way the manager tweaked it, because Ipswich were getting down the fullbacks too much. Now, when they were trying to play out from the back, Bowen and Antonio were on their centre-backs. Now, the instruction was meant to be Aaron Wan-Bissaka to come and press high to their left-back. That was the instruction. But Antonio and Bowen just stood there, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka just stood with Garnacho. So all Onana had to do was just pass to the left-back, being Mazzarari at the time. And it was a quick pass, and people were like, that's not a big deal. It like, the way I said it may not sound like a big deal, but it's a big deal, because it's just like you're already outnumbered, and you didn't even press. And it was one of the most stupid things ever. So the lack of communication was terrible, and I generally think that's because the manager doesn't really install any inspiration and doesn't translate anything into these players. I don't think the players are taken to him. I don't think the players have actually bought into whatever the fuck he's trying to do because they don't know what he's trying to do. People are going to be like, you're taking a lot more negatives than the positives out of the win. Yes, I am. Because even we know that the Rodriguez-Alvarez Souček midfield does not work. Now, don't get me wrong, Souček didn't do terrible when he came on, but I'm saying because that midfield worked, meaning we just had an outlet on the left-hand side instead, then he's going to probably line up a few more times with Rodriguez, Alvarez, and Souček, which is a very David Moyes midfield. 2 number 6s and a box-to-box midfielder who scores once every 20 games. He scored 2 goals. He's not some prolific goal scorer. I don't get this. I'm not having it, to be honest with you. It could be worse. We could have Bruno Fernandes, but I'm just saying this in general, like, so what? So what? The reason why we were better in the second half is because of Somerville. We had an outlet on the left, so we didn't have to constantly play down the right-hand side. Not because we changed the midfield. The lack of progression in midfield was alarming. Now, something I did notice when watching the first goal back was the quick passing that we made. Kept passing it to each other. and we eventually scored from it. We need to pass the ball quicker a lot more often, no matter who's on the pitch. I'm not seeing the same Paquetá, by the way, that wants to play with freedom, that wants to drive the ball, that links up with players anymore. I think we've lost Paquetá, and I don't even think it's because of the betting thing. I generally just because he's just fell off. I'm just being real. I just think he's fell off a bit, but I also think it's because of the manager. Now, with a proper coach, I think we'll maybe see the Paquetá again. He doesn't look like he's even in the game anymore. So maybe it is something to do with the betting thing, but I don't think it's just because of that. I think there's something more to it, but I don't know what it is. I don't think he's completely happy here, but if he isn't happy, drop him. Like, when Kudus comes back, I want to see Paquetá dropped. I want to see Somerville on the left, and I want to see Bone on the right. And then if you want to play Alvarez and Rodriguez, cool. But I'd rather you play Sole a bit deeper. But anyway, also, anyone that's going to criticize Carlos Soler after playing on the left wing for 45 minutes, what's the point? The guy's got his first start and you're already writing him off. Like, get a grip, seriously, because there's no point writing these new signings off straight away when they've only just started. You don't even get to give them a chance. That's why so many players fail at West Ham in the first place. And that's why they do so good at so many other clubs. Anyway, that's what we learned from West Ham 2, Manchester United 1. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe if you are new. Social media is in the description if you want to follow me. The email for the inquiries. We're on the road to 1K subscribers. Live stream at 8. And check out the other uploads on the channel because there's been 3 today. I'll see you guys later.